To Cannes now, where Brian Sozzi and Brad Smith are standing by with another guest. Hey, guys.
Oh, not just any guest, Julie Hyman, a very special guest indeed. That is the CEO of Yahoo Inc., Mr. Jim Lanzone. Jim, good to see you here today.
Thank you, guys. Good to be here. I want to apologize, for putting you through this arduous assignment.
Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it. We thank you for putting it in our laps.
Yeah.
Now, look.
This is really a tough one. These guys, by the way, Julie Hype back in the studio. Just want to know, these guys had a rider that demanded berets. So I don't know. It was the green M&Ms this time.
We're still waiting for it, by the way. I don't know where it's at.
All right. Well, this is going off script, so I'm gonna live in the moment. Jim, that has been a heck of installation here. You really came out here blasting in terms of Yahoo. A lot of folks that we have talked to here that have come on our network says feels like a different brand, and they like our installation, like how we're showing up in here. From the CEO of Yahoo Inc. standpoint, what is the state of this company?
Well, it's going very well, Brian, as you know from all of our internal all hands. No, we're doing great, and this is I think a Yahoo tradition, having this beach set up, going back well over a decade here in Cannes, and it's always a great week to come out here and meet our advertising partners. I have meetings all week with the heads of all the ad agencies and holding companies that we do business with, and you do go a long way to have those meetings, but it is amazing to have everybody in one place. A lot of stuff does get done. It's not just the people swimming in the background, which also gets done.
Jim, your time is in high demand while you're here, too. And you think about all the conversations, the access points that the common folk like us wish we could, just be a fly on the wall for some of those discussions. Take us into just what the executives that are here are saying more broadly about the state of their business and how they're navigating through this time.
I think the executives, I would think, of the major internet companies, the major ad agencies, we've all been through it a lot, right? I've been through the ups and downs of this industry for over 20 years. The market comes and goes, the ad market comes and goes, but there's a secular tailwind behind internet advertising in particular that is as strong as could be, stronger than these winds out here right now. It's pretty windy. And that's what you hear. Everybody wants to know, what's the state of that market are things going to come back, storming back? I'd say, look, things are pretty stable. I think that's the sentiment here. People fear a really tough 2023. It's not the fastest growing year ever, but things are pretty stable in the industry. And I think a lot of business is getting done here. Really especially a lot of what happens in those rooms is just comparing notes, saying, hey, there's more we can do together. That's been a huge number of meetings I've had have been, what more can we do together? And those, look, you have those meetings at home too, but that certainly is the business that gets done in Cannes.
Jim, really every day, I would say, let's say over the past 2 months on the Yahoo Finance platform, AI stocks, it's hot, they're buzzy, the stock prices are going up, really big earnings calls. Does this environment feel like the late 90s to you as someone who managed through that period, and what could happen next? I
think it did originally, and I'll say as somebody who attended a lot of AI conferences late last year, early this year, I live mostly in San Francisco. You did have a feeling. I definitely felt it. It felt I was there for the late 90s, and that early 2000s Web 2.0 period. It had that feeling to me in San Francisco again, and a lot of investment has come into AI companies. You've seen the stock market, and as you guys cover, there's the foundational stocks have done really, really well. I'd say there's been another side to it, which is now that we're past kind of that initial rush, people have been trying to figure out where it really is going to have the biggest impact. For me, as a product person, running a bunch of the biggest products on the internet, for us, it's much more practical, right? For us, it's what is the integration of AI into everything? It's going to be in Yahoo Finance, right? Helping people research stocks. We just launched in beta, we launched AI into Yahoo Mail. So it's helping you compose mail, use natural language to search mail, and organize your inbox. Much more practical applications for this stuff. There's been thousands of different companies at the application layer, and people are wondering, which of those is going to actually be successful and which is not. I think next year at this time, if we don't send you to the North Pole, we send you here instead. We'll, I think we'll still be talking about it, but things will have settled down by then.
When we think about the evolution of Yahoo, I remember when it was a publicly traded company. I was still working at the NASDAQ. I had the bell ceremony taking place. I would go over, clap and cheer for you guys. That was awesome. And it's different now, as there's not that quarterly cadence and arduous task that some companies have of needing to report on a quarterly basis and giving these disclosures. So for those who don't have that line of sight into how well Yahoo is doing, what would you say about the performance of the business?
Yeah, well, I'd say two things. One is we were spun out of Verizon, both Yahoo and AOL, with the name Yahoo in September of 2021, which is when I joined as CEO. And so two things. One is financially, the company's doing very, very well. It's one of the fastest returning deals in the history of Apollo, which is the world's biggest PE firm. So we've, from that basis, we have a solid support line, and then we have a very strong balance sheet. It's a very profitable company. It's been around 28 plus years, and so we don't have, not only are we not public and have kind of those quarterly pressures, even though we do report quarterly to our board, so we do have the rigor of that. We're able to invest and get this company on the right track for what I think in the future we could be public again. The other side is the user side, right? We're one of the biggest consumer internet companies on the planet, and really having a new era of innovation and strengthening the foundation for all of our major consumer properties, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Sports, Yahoo Mail, Search, News. We're still number one or number two in the majority of those categories, and really strengthening those for the next 25 years. What is Yahoo going to be in 2050 is absolutely where our head's at. So we're not about making short-term, adjustments to try to solve something for the short term. It's what's going to really make us a sustainable company for the long term.
And Jim, you really started to make some big bets with Yahoo Sports. Talk to us about some of those bets and the strategy there.
Yeah, it's similar to last year when Toppin came in as the president of Yahoo Finance. We just announced Ryan Spoon, who used to run ESPN.com, it was announced last week as the new president of Yahoo Sports. He'll start next Monday. One of the best product people on the internet, a great leader, very connected in the sports world. He also has spent time at BetMGM, knows the sports betting world, where we recently did our own acquisition. We bought Wager, which I could explain. But yes, Yahoo Sports is one of the crown jewel properties, just like Yahoo Finance, and we intend to invest and compete in those areas. So with Wager, our bet there was it's a peer-to-peer betting platform for sports betting. So unlike where you bet against the house or a casino, it's actually peer-to-peer against your friends, which if you think about where Yahoo Sports has traditionally been the strongest is fantasy sports. We're one of the two biggest platforms. That's community, that's friendship. And so the ability to bet your friends is a really congruent way for us to enter that category. And we did it with that acquisition. Wager, W-A-G-R was the company.
Well, a lot of my friends don't try to take my money, but they still can somehow, some way. I mean, all they had to do was bet against my Sixers, I guess. Jim, thanks for taking the time here.
Go Warriors.
Oh, Jim, you did me like that. Okay. All right, Jim, thanks for taking the time
Good
here
to be here,
again.
guys.